So these are a few photos I took during a short road trip to the Yamaguchi prefecture. My dad and my auntie were visiting us and meeting our baby for the first time, and we took this opportunity to also visit a bit of the lesser known parts of Japan. Yamaguchi has been elected as one of the least popular prefectures in Japan, while still offering many beautiful spots and activities. If you're searching for somewhere without too many tourists, plenty things to see, and cheap hotels, you don't have to look any further. Since this trip was not a photography trip per se, I thought it would be a nice challenge to only bring my 15mm lens with me. If you've been following for a while, you must know that one of my most used focal lengths is 35mm for its realism, its versatility, and just for being an easy focal length to adapt to any situation. 15mm being quite a bit more tight and zoomed in, it puts you in situations where you cannot back off enough to capture the whole scene. It is more limiting, you have to be selective and also accept the fact that there will be scenes that you just won't be able to capture as a whole. But at the same time, this tighter field of view lets you approach photography more with a process of elimination. It is easier to simplify the frame, remove what doesn't matter, and end up with cleaner and easier to read compositions. Almost exactly 2 years ago, I did something similar where I traveled with my mom and introduced her to some of my favorite places in Japan, all while traveling with only my Fujifilm X-E4 and the 35mm f2 lens that makes roughly a 15mm equivalent in full frame terms. Looking back at those pictures, I think they have something special. They are a lot more concise, focusing on one or just a few elements of the places we visited, and, shall I say, a little bit more creative than what I typically shoot wider with a 35mm lens. So first, we had a brief stop and had a walk in Iwakuni, where I did not take a lot of pictures. The weather was not the best and we spent most of the time slowly walking and chatting. But the next day, I woke up before everyone and had a morning photo walk in the streets of Yamaguchi City, where we stayed the first night. I really did not know what to expect, and I found myself in what looked like to be a small night district with some izakaya, snack bars and karaoke. One of the first standouts is this photo I took from a snack bar sign, I guess. It looked so satisfying that it was hard to pass, and the contrast between the smooth black sign and the texture blue tiles was quite striking. Everything lined up almost too perfectly. It's minimal, graphic, and all about color and shape. The character on the left is also rather complex, which works well here because everything else looks very clean and minimal. Obviously, at this time of the day, in a small city, I knew I wouldn't come across a lot of people, so I focused on some colors or texture that attracted my eye. Eventually, the light also picked out a bit later in the session, letting me capture more the interplay of the early morning light and the subjects I decided to shoot. This shot actually reminded me of the fun I had composing around Mount Fuji a while back. The idea was the same, trying to find something in the foreground that complements the shape of the mountain. The only difference is, well, this isn't Mount Fuji, but I still like the layered silhouette, the way the rooftops and trees lead your eye gently toward that peak in the back. Not an iconic landmark, but still a frame I like, and a way to train my eye for when I go back to Mount Fuji or somewhere else with a mighty mountain. There was finally some light peeking through a bit more, and I like this scene. The shop signs have this texture and are made with this material that kinda attracts the light, making them pop a bit more in this scene. I simply like the soft and warmth coming from this sleepy corner. After a relaxing bath in the hotel's onsen and a filling breakfast, we took the road and visited more of Yamaguchi, focusing on shrines and temples that looked promising according to Google Maps. In that first one, the main attraction was this 5-storied pagoda, which was under renovation. There was still some scaffold kind of thing remaining, but only at the base of the pagoda, so it wasn't too bad, but I prefer the photos I took in the premises of the temple itself. This is where the 50mm focal length came into play nicely. It helped me isolate just enough of a scene to try more abstract compositions. With a 50mm, you start seeing lines, shapes and colors more clearly. I took one of my favorite pictures of the last few months there, but clearly not everyone thinks the same. I posted this photo on Instagram and it was my least liked photo in a good while, maybe more than a year. I wish it had more success, but it doesn't change my mind on it. There is a nice color combination with complementary reds and greens. I also like the texture from this frosted window, making the greens look very soft and creating a nice gradient. And there is also the stacked chairs on the right to give it more structure. Next up was the Ryuzoji, a temple I already visited twice in the past. It is famous for its big statues surrounded by flames, but what I like the most there is the location. The temple is on the foothill of a small mountain in the forest. It's really a breath of fresh air to visit this place. I think the photo I like the most from there this time is the feet of the statue. I could and I did take a photo that showed the statue as a whole, but I like this one focusing on a small part, giving more about the details of the statue and its texture. That second night we stayed in Hagi, by the Sea of Japan, and once again I woke up before everyone to have a photo session. The light was on point, and right from the exit of the hotel I had my first shot. The wall on the right guides the eye naturally towards the bus, which is bathed in that soft early morning light, adding warmth and contrast against the cooler shadows. There is also the nice early morning sky in the background to complement everything. I decided to include the sign on the wall so it is less of an empty space, and I was careful to leave enough room between the end of the sign on the right and the edge of the frame so it can breathe properly. The pond by the little hill where the hotel is located is known to be the hangout place of some kites, the bird. Without fault, they were there even early in the morning, and I liked this kind of lucky frame I got. Lucky because I got two birds placed very harmoniously heading towards different directions. They are backlit, creating nice silhouettes against that golden beam of light. The timing was nice, with both their wings almost fully extended. A fleeting moment I got lucky to capture, and I'm glad that I shoot digital to be comfortable trying this kind of shots.あ、
魚がね、
おお、
わかる？見える？
あ、いっぱいありますね。
どこから来たんか知らんけど。
これ飛んでるね。
飛んでるね。
普段はいない？
いない。
いない。
どこから来 したよね。ゴミ
In this one, I immediately got attracted by the boots hung out to dry. They hint at someone's work. It's subtle but very evocative. The soft morning light, the calm water and the mountain backdrop make it feel serene, almost meditative. Even without any people, there's a strong sense of human presence. These kinds of details are powerful, they suggest more than they show, and that's often what makes an image have a stronger impression in my mind. So, and move fast. What? I'm not unhappy about that next one. The bird caught mid-flight adds that perfect dynamic element, but yeah, if it had flown just a little bit more on the right, the shadow wouldn't be cut and the composition would have breathed a bit more. That small shift would have made the photo cleaner and more intentional, but yeah, I'm not able to control birds' minds, so they do as they want. This bike leaning against the pillar is nothing extraordinary on its own, but placed right in the sharp beam of sunlight, it becomes the focal point of the whole scene. It is echoing that earlier shot with the boots hanging down. It also hints at life and human presence in this fisherman part of the city, without showcasing anyone. It's a simple frame, but it holds together with strong geometry and atmosphere. You can almost feel the stillness of the early hour of the day. After that morning session, we visited that same area again, but this time together with family. We also went to Haggis Castle ruins before driving along the coast and making a few stops along the way to check the water and one shrine by the sea that looked pretty cool.
Ça fait penser à...
So I hope you liked this video. I tried bringing value with the explanation on some shots I took while trying to make you experience this road trip. Bringing only my 50mm turned out to be a good decision once again, both in terms of results and the challenge and fun I had trying to find composition and overcoming the limitation of the focal length. So thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.